uh, get ready for a football weekend. It's gonna be a big weekend.
And and I haven't kept up with the high school, as much. Not only is a big game in the college world coming up as we close down, but one of the biggest games in the high school world, of course, is the rematch that probably has more, uh, not more, but a lot of talent, a lot of future D1 players that will be making their final appearance potentially for some, and one more game or so left for others as Hoover and Thompson takes on each other in this week's big matchup at the Hoover Met. So I'm not going to go to it, but if I was going to go to a high school game, Joe, that would be one that would definitely be of great interest. So, who you think gets it done this week?
I'm gonna who
Wow.
I'm gonna go with. I think Hoover's gonna win for a second time. I think I'm gonna be go out on a limb and say I think Hoover's gonna win for a second time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you surprised that he's not made the jump to any college level at some level? I mean, to college at some level.
yeah, I mean, he's been very successful at Hoover, and we've seen several coaches move on from Hoover and go to the next level in the past. So, yeah, that just seems like a natural progression for him, but he hasn't quite taken that step.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to watch and see if he. And it may, some coaches are really in it for the mission of coaching. You know what I mean? Like I look at him, and when Saban went to the pros, it wasn't a fit for him. And so I just wonder sometimes, does Josh realize that about himself, that it would not be a fit for him at the next level, and that he's really in it for the kids and all of that. And Josh's dad was a coach, and Josh. I don't know if I ever told you. Josh and I were teammates at Alabama, um, and he was a guy who played at in high school, went on to Southern Miss, and then decided, you know what, I know I can play at Southern Miss, but I want to challenge myself to see if I can play at Alabama. And he was a quarterback coming out of high school, but he ended up playing a couple other positions and managed to get on the field and help Alabama when we won a national championship. So if you want to go check out a high school game, or if you have the what is it, National High School Football um, app, you can watch that game. So, but that's going to be a good one. There's a lot of at least two future Alabama guys in that game on the Thompson side, and Coach Freeman uh, trying to defend his national title, similar to Alabama state title, similar to Alabama trying to defend theirs. So, but anyway, but we can talk about that if you want to talk about it. If you want to talk about any other high school um, situations around. I know that TA, and I'm not sure if they played last night or tonight. I know they were playing for a state championship.
Playing
And
tonight in
that,
Montgomery in the
okay,
Crampton Bowl.
okay, so yeah, so I did not realize. Sometimes they play the independent games the night before, but so they are playing tonight.
Yeah, they're playing tonight. Tuscaloosa has a couple schools still alive playing tonight. TA's playing the state championship against Pike Liberal Arts. ACA is going to Viger. Pickens County is going to Decatur Heritage Christian, and Hillcrest is hosting Saraland. So a lot of us will be at Hillcrest tonight.
And I know this is gonna sound crazy. I really said when Hillcrest beat us, Northridge. Um, I said, man, they like we had watched them play, Joe, and they play a different style. I mean, if you haven't seen Hillcrest play, um, you don't see that every week. The way they play. They have a fullback who they'll give it to him on that dive, and they'll give it to him on the read. Uh, and they also have some big offensive linemen. They got one or two receivers out there they can throw it up to, but they got a quarterback that could play. That to me is the most underrated player potentially in the state of Alabama, in Ethan Crawford at quarterback. And I said, man, if they buy into that the way they bought in when they played us, if they continue to improve from what we saw on film before we played them to what we saw, I said, this team is going to be hard to beat and stop from winning a state championship. Now he may lose half of his players next year because they don't like the style he plays, but they might just make a run. Because it's difficult. It's old school, but then they got a quarterback. Joe, that kid can throw the ball 65, 70 yards, on a spiral. On a tightrope that looked like he's handing it off to the guy 60 yards down the field. So it'll be interesting to see. And then, of course, you said ACA. ACA has a first-year coach, correct? And so there, that would be great for him. TA's coach, if I'm not mistaken, is a first-year coach.
Yes.
And then you said it's Pickens County, right?
Pickens County is going as a Decatur Heritage Christian,
which is Mike Williams, former
yes
Alabama tight end. So not a lot of players and teams left, but all of them have some very intriguing connections there. So got a couple callers calling in. I know we're talking a little high school football. Like to do that every so often, especially when it's local. And Joe, tell them real quick if they want to stay up with what's happening, what higher station will keep them connected there.
The best way tonight is to be following the station's Twitter account. We'll be live tweeting a lot of the games, but then at 10 o'clock, we'll have a last call scoreboard show with Kerry Clark. Our Friday Night Lights coverage is going to be preempted by Alabama basketball, but at 10 o'clock, we'll have Kerry Clark taking over, giving you last call scoreboard show, and he will keep you all up to date of the scores. And then, of course, the Tide 100.9 app will have written pieces for at least the TA game and the Hillcrest game.
And if I'm not mistaken, TA is playing, you said Pike Liberal, and I think the Pike Liberal head coach was at TA only 2 years ago, right? If I'm not mistaken. He had been a part-time coach at TA and was part of, had some association with the university. But it's kind of a lot of interesting stories there. So, hey, let's go ahead. Instead of bringing the callers on and having to cut them off short, let's go ahead and go to break a couple minutes early. Curtis Moore, Curtis Lewis, please hold on. We'll get you guys on the other side of the break. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks this Friday morning, but we do have a disabled vehicle on 2059 eastbound near the Buttermilk Road exit. Everything else looks good, but if you do see conditions, of course, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan has the selection and great savings just in time for Thanksgiving. Gobble up the deals today. I'm Captain Ray.
It's Black Friday now at JCPenney. Starting Friday, shop thousands of Black Friday deals across the store while they last. It's Black Friday now only at JCPenney.
You know when you order a new video game or a golf club or a blender and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
It takes two vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
There once was a woman who couldn't find the right hue. A simple nude lip is what she sought. A whole lot of nothing is what she got. So two friends, KJ and Amanda, pondered a lifetime of not being represented in the beauty aisle. And Mentic Cosmetics was born. And QVC bought in because every woman deserves makeup made for her. And won't that be the best tale to tell when you gift your own friend shades like Dope Taupe or Foxy Brown? I'd say that story is to be continued. QVC and HSN. This is shopping brought to life.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too, because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A good supply of sunshine today. Tuscaloosa's high 61. Clear tonight with a low at 35. Tomorrow, another sunny day, the high 66. Sunday, partly sunny during the day. Rain arrives Sunday night, the high Sunday at 67. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 34 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904. Tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
I'm on your hot right now.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Alabama won. Black Wednesday is almost here, the biggest loan sale of 2021. You can start saving as early as 7 a.m. on Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. Savings during the Black Wednesday loan sale is back, and you can save big on your auto and personal loans, finance your car, open a new personal loan, or refinance your current loan to give yourself the gift of lower monthly payments. You can apply online starting as early as 7 a.m. It's a great day. It's countdown. There's only 5 days left. Go ahead. If you go to alabama1.org, you can add it to your calendar so you won't forget. And then you can save even more with a better insurance policy. Review your current policy, reduce your rates, and relax on your property covered. That's Alabama One's Black Wednesday sale. Go check it out. All right. Hey, Joe, as we were going to break there, I mentioned about the Pike Liberal coach, Mario White. He was last year first year coach, and they won the state championship. And then when I was just double checking myself to make sure I wasn't speaking out of turn, it seems like he resigned last week, effective immediately.
Yeah, right before the semifinal game.
Yeah, so he was hired amongst some controversy, and I don't know what this is about, but he was a formerly associated and had a kid, a really, really talented son who played football and baseball. Wish him nothing but the best. Don't know what that's about, but wishing TA the best as well. All right, let's get to Curtis Moore. Thanks for your patience, Mr. Moore. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, Joe and Martin. How y'all doing, man?
Doing well.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear us? Hello? You're on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear any response. I didn't know about so long. Hey, I won't be long. I know you got Curtis Lewis and other folks holding. But what I wanted to ask was, you remember the press conference that Coach Saban had on Wednesday, and kind of towards the end when he was talking about the offensive line, and one thing that pointed out to me was what he said about Chris Owens. It's going to be difficult for him to get reps because he's, doing, two positions. Like, I guess he's talking about the right tackle and the center and all that. The way I took that is that I don't think he's going to start this Saturday. I think Damian George is going to be there, and it's going to kind of like be like a trial. Not really a trial because he's been doing good for the last 2 weeks anyway, Damian George.
Right.
But if he plays really good, I think that's probably it for Chris Owens in the starting spot. But y'all want to know what y'all take on that? Did you read that message the same way I did, or what?
Well, I think that the injury to Dalcourt may have forced the move that everyone has been saying. You can't watch the last 2 games and not feel like that Damian George gives you a better chance to win. I mean, you watch the last 2 games. How much pressure has Bryce Young been in his face, meaning from the right tackle? Not much. I mean, and it doesn't matter. I know you say, well, some people may say, well, it was New Mexico State. Well, the first one was against LSU, and then he backed it up against New Mexico State. So I think that it's a sign that Damian George is going to get to run out there first, and Dalcourt will be back. So
yeah. I just want to know what y'all say was on that, because that's how I interpret the message. I know Saban didn't want to, throw anyone in the bus or anything like that, so he said it as, well, it's going to be difficult for him to get reps. But I don't know, the way I read it is Damian George is probably going to be the guy.
Yeah, that's his way of saying that he doesn't like. Saban has never fired anyone, and he doesn't like to bench players. So that's his way of getting around that. He didn't say he's going to bench him. It's going to be hard for him to get reps. So didn't say he wouldn't get reps. Yeah. So and Nick Saban has never fired an assistant coach, according to him. They just all find jobs somewhere else. So with a little help. Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate that.
Yeah, take care. Roll Tide.
It's funny. One guy we hadn't talked about was Javier Cohen not playing, and Tommy Brown playing at that guard position, and rating how he did. But let's see. We got Curtis Lewis, who's been patiently waiting. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Oh, yeah, Martin. I do think that George will be the starter, though, and I do think Chris Owens will be on the bench. And even though Saban didn't say it out loud, but he did. Everybody can see what he was saying. It's so much involved in trying to learn 2 different positions and getting the reps, and he doesn't have to learn any position. He has to learn how to sip beside the Gatorade. That's all he's got to learn. But real quick on Nesbitt. A lot of people don't like Nesbitt. He's not a very likable guy. When he coached at the whole local high school, they didn't like him there. And then he up and left and went to Hoover. I mean, he's had to go to Hoover because people just didn't like that guy. And they never liked him. So I can see why he's not on somebody's staff as a college coach. He's just not a very likable gentleman. And I don't see Hoover beating those blame freaks down there at Thompson. Times in a row. That number 7 is a blame axe murderer. You might as well just go in a legal sense, of course, but that kid kills everybody out there. Yeah. And I just beating them guys 2 times in a row in the same year. That's just not going to happen.
And like you said, I don't. And you may be nailing why Nesbitt is it. I mean, maybe nailing why he's not. He replaced the guy who kind of had some similar. I'm not saying Nesbitt has anything going on off the field with a second family, but Probst was a guy who was not very well liked. From a personality standpoint. I hadn't heard that about Nesbitt, but you when you say local high school, what are you referring to before you went to Hoover? Is you talking about
Oxford High School?
Yeah, okay. That's why I was making sure. Yeah, and it's kind of a circuit in Alabama, right? You go to Prattville, you go to Prattville, Oxford, Hoover, Prattville, Oxford, and now Auburn may be on that circuit a little bit. Of course, Weingartner coming to Tuscaloosa County, he may threw that off, but that's kind of been the guys from the guys who have been at those particular schools have either moved on to bigger, better high school gigs or to college, Jacksonville State, UAB types of guys from the Prattville, Oxfords of the world. And of course, that's where Hillcrest, Coach Adam, he moved from Hillcrest to Oxford. So we'll see what trajectory he follows as well.
Yeah. We'll see what, because now that Jacksonville is open, maybe they'll invite him up there. It's no telling at this point.
It's interesting, Curtis. The Jacksonville job, that was interesting too. I mean, that coach coached the game, and then at the press conference, resigned. So effective immediately. So you're like, what's the world? They had just announced, it was like official. We're going up to the Sun Belt and making that jump. I guess they didn't feel like he could lead them there, but it was just weird that he did it in the middle of the season. So, or at the end of the season.
For a few people too. He's grown bump heads of some of the guys up there at Jacksonville. And everyone, I won't say big money guys. There's no big money guys in Jacksonville. They are guys who pull strings, and they weren't a big fan of his in the beginning. So it wasn't surprising that he stepped out of the way at that point either. So it's a very close, niche little group up there.
Yeah, and I'm from up in that area. Cherokee County, the neighboring county. So it was just pretty sudden. You were about to say one other thing before I let you go?
Yeah, one other thing with the Frank Broyles Award, it's kind of like when Pete Golden was nominated, it's kind of like somebody, like a student, being up for a Student of the Year, and he's not nominated by the principal or his teachers. He's nominated by his mama. His mama puts him up for the award. Well, the same thing goes with Golden. We know darn well that Saban's the one who put him up for the award, and Saban never fires anybody. But Saban will try and find you a job somewhere else. So I think it's just another ploy of Saban to help Golden move on to another position.
Oh, wow.
Get another job, and so that you can go home and get off of my staff. But
Curtis, you're so bad. Coach Saban actually loves.
We know that's what's going on.
Coach Saban loves Pete Golding. He absolutely thinks
get another position. Yes, he does. He wants him to move on and do something that's great. Like the boy, hey, I'm gonna put you up for the job for the Browns. Let's get you over there because you are not coaching on my staff next year.
Okay, well, we'll have to watch that. Now, if Pete Golding is gone somewhere else, Curtis, we're gonna come back to this call. All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend at Roll Tide. All right, Ellis, thanks for your patience. You're with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin.
Good morning. Someone just said, Curtis. Before, let me say this because of that call, Ellis. Curtis Moore II said Saban is trying to make room for Jimmy Lake, former Washington. That's funny. Now that's okay. All right, we'll see. All right, hey, what you got for me, Ellis?
I just headed fixing to head down to Titletown.
Oh man, well, first of all, safe travels, sir.
Thank you. Coming down to support the team and support our seniors that's been there and played hard and done well, so we need to go support them.
Yeah, this senior. You talking about a senior class that's been through a lot of change. Think about how much college football has changed since they were freshmen and what they've been through with COVID, name, image, and likeness, transfer portal. So they've had some change. Joe, how long ago was the early signing rule? Has it been 5 years?
I believe the first early signing period was 2017.
Would it be this class or the class before?
I think it was the class after Tua.
Yeah,
Class.
which I think would be this class, right? Potentially some of these guys, if they're fifth-year guys, right? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, I think either way, they're either the first or second class to do it. So that you talk about a lot of change in how they were recruited and playing, et cetera. So, but you got anything else, Curtis? Ellis, I'm sorry.
Fifth-year senior.
Do what now?
So I said, B-Rob, he's a fifth-year senior, so he's been there for a long time through all of that.
Well, Chris Owens is a sixth-year senior.
Oh, man.
So he was definitely a part of it.
I was going to ask you one more thing. When do you think Drew Sanders is going to be able to come back and play?
I think Drew Sanders is back now. If you go back and look and you watch the game last week, when we went to our backups, Drew Sanders played. And some people may read that to mean that Drew Sanders has lost his starting job to Dallas Turner. That's not necessarily what that means. What the reason he may not have played before Ellis is because he didn't get all the reps. He didn't get the first team reps.
Yes, sir.
So and so that's that. And so Drew very well could be the starter this week, but I think he'll be back getting reps either way, whether he's a starter or not. And that's what you do with a guy like that that's slowly getting back. You're kind of working back into the flow. And Dallas Turner has improved without a doubt. But I also think Dallas Turner may be getting and looking better than what Dallas really is. And I'm not taking anything away from him. But, man, you're scheming away from Will Anderson, and it makes whoever the other guy on the other side have just a lot more opportunities to make plays. And there were several plays last week where that quarterback was trying his darndest to get away from Will Anderson and ran right into Dallas Turner because he was on the other side.
That's one player I love to watch out on the field is Will Anderson because he's all over that field.
Let me give you a player to watch in the NFL, and I'm going to tell you next year if Will Anderson makes the leap like he did, I don't know if you ever get to watch Bosa with the 49ers.
No, I'll have to.
If you get a chance, he gets in a 4-point stance. Will Anderson gets in a 4-point stance like him, and he comes off of that edge, and he has a motor that is unbelievable. And Will Anderson, I think, is projecting to be just like that. Bosa was so good, he didn't even play his junior year because of an injury, and he still was like the number 3 overall pick. So, and he was a true third-year player, not a guy that would have been like redshirted. So he played 2 years, third year removed from high school, did not play due to an injury. He suffered early in the season, decided not to come back when he was healthy and just trained. And they are terminators, man. And that's what I love about the way Will Anderson plays the game.
Headhunter.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Ellis.
All right, roll tide.
Roll tide and safe travels, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tom, please hold on to the other side of the break. Tom and Robert will get Robert, and we'll get you guys immediately coming out of the break. Thanks for your partnership with the Martin Houston Show right here on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks this Friday morning, but we do have a disabled vehicle on 2059 eastbound near the Buttermilk Road exit. Everything else looks good, but if you do see conditions, of course, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan has the selection and great savings just in time for Thanksgiving. Gobble up the deals today. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 50% off during their Black Friday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
It takes 2 vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, we're back in with the Martin Houston Show. Got some comments coming over there. Of course, C.J. Watson saying you can call it what you want, but Lane was terminated by Saban. I know he was already been hired by FAU, but Lane was straight booted off the Bama staff by Saban. Curtis Moore saying next year, Dan Mullins, OC, Jimmy Lake, DC. So I guess Pete and O'Brien both out. Of course, O'Brien been mentioned for a couple of jobs already, so it'd be interesting if he heads out or not. Hey, we got several people holding, so let's go ahead and get to the phone lines. First up, we got Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin. Did y'all confirm my breaking news yesterday? They called me right after they listened to the radio show out in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they called me and said, man, they didn't believe you. Well, yeah, he's going to be there tomorrow. I mean, he will be there tomorrow. He actually is coming in this afternoon.
No, hey, listen, Pat, I didn't say I didn't believe you. I told him he needs to hire you. I didn't say I didn't believe you.
Hey, well, hey, I'm yeah, like I said, just because I sound country, Martin, don't mean I am.
Well, hey, listen, man. Listen. I believe in the 6 degrees of separation, meaning that anybody can be connected with anybody, and it's not always about what your job position is. It's about who you know and who knows you. And you just said you explained how you knew it. You said that there's your son worked out there and he had a relationship, so it would be. This kid would be no different than someone seeing Josh Jacobs. I mean, remember when that was breaking, Pat? Everybody was like, "Who is Josh Jacobs?
Absolutely.
Who's Josh Jacobs?" I mean, he's a Wildcat quarterback. Nobody's recruiting him. How good can he be? I mean, he's just a 3-star.
Hey, but Martin, he was running for over 300 yards a game, though.
I know, but nobody knew about him up until this is early in the process compared to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was recruited so late in the process that Burton Burns had to go see him in person at a basketball game. They didn't even see him during football season.
Yeah, but this kid is one of the first ones since Josh Jacobs. He's one of the first ones Alabama's had any interest in. But I'll tell you this: that as soon as Alabama offers him, you're going to see that stock going to go up even more because they got him listed as a 4-star with 24/7 now, and I guarantee you he'll receive it from the film I saw and the speed that he's coveting. I mean that he has. You're going to see that this star come pretty quick.
What's that name one more time, Pat, so everybody can.
His last name was Tease. His first name is Micah, and it's tease like you tease somebody. And but anyway, hey, but coming in this weekend, we've got a 5-star quarterback coming in out of California this weekend. And you talk about a name that's going to be hard for us to learn to say. This is Lama Leva. It's Lamaaleaba. And then Mateo Ugalele, Clemson quarterback.
His younger brother, right?
I'm assuming that's his brother. When he's 6'5" and 255-pound edge rusher. It's
his younger brother. He's a defensive lineman. If we're talking about the same kid, I don't know that.
Pat. We got. If he comes to Alabama, we got to do a little better than that. It's Uiagalelei.
All
right, you got it.
Yeah, and I'll be calling on Joe when I go. I'll go, now what's the new guy? His brother's the quarterback. What's his name, Joe? Uiagalelei. Lele.
There's two 5-star running backs. So Richard Young's a 5-star, 23 5-star young running back coming in, and then a kid named Cedric Baxter. And they're both, and he's 215 pounds, Martin, 6'1".
Pat, how are we getting to the point where it used to be just 32 5-stars, and you may have a total between the recruiting services, you may have a grand total of like 45 stars, because the 5 stars used to be the guys that they projected as the guys who would be the first round draft picks in their class. That and now it's like everybody's a 5-star. But hey, I let you close out. I got to get to another caller, but go ahead, Pat.
I got you. Hey, but it's called weight programs now, Martin, and much better nutrition. Much better prenatal nutrition from the womb.
But what I'm saying is, have they changed that guideline? We need to ask what's his name that and see how many 5-stars they have.
I got no idea how they can tell when each one of these kids are capable of taking 225 and going 20 times with it. Why do you measure?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say sometimes there's a bunch of 4-stars out there that can't be 5-stars just because there's a limit on how many you can have. So talent wise, I think these stars are slowly pushing down, meaning that there's a bunch of 3-stars out there that before the recruiting got that could have been 4-stars. So all right, thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
Last day. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. That's Pat breaking more news right here on the Martin Houston Show. Tom, thanks for your patience. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, boys. How are you?
Doing well.
Wednesday's press conference was interesting to me about Coach Saban. And I think, would you agree that a lot of the people that watch Alabama football, from beginning to end every year, so forth and so on. Do you think this team has got everybody kind of confused as to what they are, when they're going to show up, or things like that? Do you agree with that assumption?
Well, let me tell you, Tom, and Darby, you're reading my notes. I literally wrote a note in my prep today, and I haven't brought it up yet. But the question I ask is, what is this team's identity? If you had to describe this team, what would they be their identity? Of course, and we got a quarterback. I mean, the kid's been twice this year. He was 21 for 23, which broke his record for completion percentages of 20 of 22. And that's hard to do against air. And he easily could have been 21 of 22 if Billingsley don't drop that prior touchdown pass. But even in that, are we a deep passing team? Are we a short passing team? Are we an RPO team? Are we a dual threat? I mean, even if you just look at the passing side, it's not clear. Which that's not. I guess is that all bad? But can we run the ball? Sometimes it looks like we can. Sometimes it looks like we can't. So I don't know that this team has clarified, but no one is talking about it. This defense is a top 5 defense and has been stout against the run, which is what we needed to be against Arkansas, against Auburn, against Georgia, and even Ohio State. And Oregon doesn't concern me. Cincinnati doesn't concern me. Michigan against the run, that's what we would need to be as far as the teams that I think we would end up playing. I think they all kind of start from the run and go from there.
Well, I wanted to bring up to your point the difference is how the quarterback's perfect. Nobody can say that he's not a great quarterback, a great player, and so forth and so on. But you got him, and he's doing an outstanding job. Yes or no?
You talking about Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, an outstanding job.
And then you look around and you got on the offense, you got mass confusion. We don't know who the right tackle is. We don't know who this is. Are they going to block? Can they block? Sometimes they block. Yeah, they did good on that game. But I don't know about this game. But the ball is confusion. But here's where I want to go. Of all the confusion and everything, we have lost one game. And we're in the hunt to win the SEC championship. And we're still in the hunt to make the playoffs and win a national championship. Is that true or false?
That's still a true statement. And the one game we lost, we scored in the 30s.
Right. And then on top of that, our defense is ranked and rated as one of the best defenses in the country. Now, we got potential, and we hadn't reached it. I think everybody will agree with that we hadn't played near about the best game we played. We've come close, but we hadn't done it. Now, my other statement is on Wednesday, Coach Saban said, well, you know what, I guess when they were asking about the criticism bothers anybody. Remember that question?
Mm-hmm.
And then his response he was saying we criticize ourselves and all like that. And then you know what else he said? He said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I've never heard him say anything like that. And I don't think he's got his hand on exactly what this team is. He knows they're good. He knows that potentially could be, one of those outstanding teams. But I don't think he's got his finger on this team. I don't think anybody else does. I don't think, they just like, okay, we're going to play today, and then we win, and then we're going to play at Florida, for example. We're going to kill them 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. And then, well, I don't know if we want to kill them or not. And on it goes. But, when he said that about skinning that cat, I went, yep, I know what I need to know there. They go from week to week. play it like that because I guarantee nobody knows what this team really is.
And I think, and I'm gonna let you go after this time, but yeah, I think you're nailing it. Is the fact that this team, even though we're looking at it, we're what 9-10 games into the season, but the reality of it is, this offense has Bryce Young, and this offense really still hadn't played a lot of football together, and so there's some consistent inconsistencies that happen, but they're definitely getting there. And here's the thing that they have to get. They have got to get a nasty streak, or they will not make. They're getting ready to play some games, and it's going to take some physicality and some nastiness. That this team is talented offensively and defensively, but we need some more of that alpha dog that Will Anderson displays. We need that to catch on with about 3 or 4 other players. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
All right, appreciate that call. Hey, let's go ahead and go a little long here on this break, and then we'll wrap things up. That's Robert. If you're still there, Robert from Mobile, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Oh, well, so you're going to break.
No, I won't make you hold that long.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head about the problem with the team, and it's the dog level alpha that we keep not having enough of, and the only one we can identify for certain is Will Anderson.
Right.
And everybody else is kind of they're good and maybe even good enough, but because running around like they've been shot out of the cannons all the time on a bunch of plays. You just don't feel that we got the intensity we need.
You think about this. No one ever gets by Evan Neal, but you don't feel like Evan Neal is dominating the game, which he is. But does he dominate the game in a silo by himself? Where like with Landon Dickerson, when Landon Dickerson played like the same, these two guys are playing it the same way, meaning Evan Neal is getting pancakes and dominating his guy, and Landon Dickerson was doing the same thing. Landon Dickerson made the guys to his right and left and around him better and raised the intensity level of the team and the excitement of the team and the moxie of the team. Evan Neal does it, and he's been dominant. I mean, if you watch him, his guy never does anything, but you don't feel like it's making anybody else better. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
And then that's what we're missing on this team.
And even with the running game, Brian Robinson doesn't quite run as angry as Najee Harris used to run.
Right.
I guess the Najee was just doing hurling and but you see spurts of it in Brian Robinson. So the Najee it's like you just saw the nastiness in him.
Yeah.
So Devontae was Mr. Smooth himself. Now James Williams was getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely, he is. And so that's what this team needs some of that, I think.
Yeah, and Mechie's close, and he's close to getting there too. We were hoping we would see more nastiness out of our tight ends too. That's what would really help the team. It's about tight ends, and Latouche and the early on looked like he was going to give us that tight end spot, that nastiness. Where he just didn't want to tackle this guy. When he caught the ball, oh my goodness, he caught the ball. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
You see that in spurts. Everything we keep seeing in spurts. Even with Bryce Young's running, we just see it in spurts and not consistently. Like when you watched Louisville last night, you watched Louisville quarterback last night. You're afraid every time they got to touch with the ball.
Yeah.
That's where we were hoping with Bryce Young, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And then he touches the ball. And that's it's like we see it in spurt, but like we said all season, you just don't see it every game and most plays, and therein lies our problem. Now this will be fine. Alabama could win a championship with this team playing like this if there was not a Georgia. I think it could be everybody else playing like this if there was not, because Georgia is doing everything we're saying we were hoping Alabama would be doing right now. Consistent.
Right.
And therein lies our problem. Georgia is showing the national on defense. It's consistent.
Let me, and this is, long as we don't slip up and we get there, Robert, I'm not sure that's not to our advantage, because what you just said is what Georgia's hearing. Georgia's going to come into that game having heard all year. Think about, when was the last time it wasn't Alabama and someone else that was separated from the pack? Because what you have right now is they say there's Georgia, then there's Alabama, maybe Ohio State, and then there's so Alabama's being put as a tier 2 team in terms of versus Georgia, and then everybody else in college football. Georgia's hearing that over and over and over. Dude, I don't care what you say about this Alabama team. If they all come out and play, this is a super uber talented offensive team. This is a super uber talented defensive team. This what I see heading, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what I see is this, like the 92 team. And even though it's not a bowl game and there's not a gap in between, Georgia's been hearing how dominant they are and how much better they are and how inconsistent Alabama is. That's the same way it was when we were getting ready to play Miami. Miami was clearly the most talented team, and Alabama is, lucky to be here. And what we did was we went to film, man, and we studied film. We were focused. And what I'm saying is, this is going to drive Alabama to be so focused in that game. And I think Georgia is going to come in one or two ways, either overconfident or pressing because they know this is their opportunity. And Alabama may sneak up and get them.
I got one more thing for the music.
Go ahead.
It really sucks to be an Atlanta Falcon fan these days.
But hey, listen. Hey, the world is upside down because I'm a Patriots fan now. So
I can't believe it.
Mac Jones last night, Mac Jones at one point was completing 90% of his passes. He's sitting in the top. He'll probably be top 3 completion percentages. Of course, a lot of those are short passes, but it don't matter as long as the chains keep moving. And guess what I saw him do last night? The old Tom Brady quarterback sneak. I'm telling you.
Okay, but he did those great yesterday. He did a couple of them. He doesn't, man, what was that in Alabama?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? All right, thanks, Robert. Have a good one. All right, man, Arkansas, Alabama. Didn't get to talk much about the Razorbacks, but the Razorbacks coming into town. Alabama takes care of business. The Razorbacks gets, I'm going to say they get 16 points. Alabama gets into the low 40s. Alabama takes care of the Arkansas Razorbacks. We'll be talking about it on Monday as we get ready for Iron Bowl week right here on the Martin Houston Show. That's Joe Gaither. Thanks to all the callers who were great today. I'm Martin Houston. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide. Go take down those Razorbacks.
Let's celebrate. Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active